I don't know about you, but I've always been curious about how gravity exists in space, how the planets just keep orbiting around the sun, how the moon keeps orbiting around the earth, because I've been told that gravity doesn't exist in space. So, what is keeping these satellites and planets in their fixed orbits instead of just wandering around space? And as you can tell, I never really did pay attention in school. So, here we go. Why do planets stay in orbit when gravity doesn't really exist in space? Well, gravity actually does exist in space, and it is what makes planets stay in orbit. Think of space as a plastic sheet of paper, and think of the planets as the balls that you drop on a plastic sheet of paper. These balls, if they are heavy enough, will cause the plastic paper to go downward. And now, if you drop anything that isn't as heavy as the balls in its proximity, then it will start going towards the first ball that you dropped on the plastic piece of paper. This is called a gravity well, and planets, when they are of certain size and mass, form gravity wells around the plastic sheets of space, which is the space-time continuum. So, therefore, planets of certain sizes and masses project certain gravitational force around them. And in the solar system, the sun is the gravitational force that keeps the planets in orbit. Now, we need to find out how the planets don't fall into the sun, or how the moon doesn't fall into the earth because of Earth's gravitational pull and keeps going around the planet. Well, that has to do with velocity. So, the planet Earth had an initial velocity because originally the solar system was spiraling into itself. It's actually not that concrete of a theory, and we don't really understand it that well. So, let's just say that the Earth had an initial velocity, and that makes it continuously move around the sun at a very high speed. That completely negates it falling into the sun, because the distance between the earth and the sun creates a certain amount of attraction between the earth and the sun. But the value of the initial velocity of the earth is greater than the gravitational pull of the sun. And because it is in outer space, there is no atmosphere. So there is nothing that is going to slow down the initial velocity of the Earth. And thus the Earth doesn't fall into the sun. And the same reason can be applied to the moon, because it exists outside of the atmosphere. There is nothing slowing it down, and therefore it continues to spin around the planet without crashing into it. That is the explanation that I have learned so far.